I arrived in Coventry on a warm summer afternoon, the kind of day where the sun is bright, yet the air feels heavy, as if the city itself carries an old memory it never let go of. Coventry looks like any ordinary British city at first. People shopping, buses passing, the usual summer noise. But beneath this calm, the city hides a story so painful and so powerful that it shaped everything you see today. I didn't come here for the new Coventry. I came to stand in the ruins that still whisper about a single night. A night when Coventry was almost erased from the map, and at the center of that night stands Coventry Cathedral, broken, silent, and still carrying the scar of one of the darkest moments in British history. When I reached Coventry, the weather felt unusually heavy, like the city itself was waiting for someone to remember what happened here. At first glance, Coventry looked like any other British city. There are shops, buses, busy streets, and people going about their daily business. But behind that normal appearance lies a deep and unforgettable story, a story of destruction, fear, loss, and survival. And the heart of that story rests within the ruins of Coventry Cathedral, a place that still holds the memory of a night that changed everything. The night of 14th November 1940 began quietly. Just like many other nights during the Second World War, people were used to warning and air raid sightings, but nobody expected what was coming. Coventry was important to Britain because it made engine, weapon, and vehicle for the war. That meant the German Air Force, the Luftwaffe, saw the city as a major target. Their goal was not to just destroy buildings, they wanted to break the spirit of the people, weaken their courage, and force Britain to surrender. Most residents had no idea how violent that night would become. Around 7:30 p.m., the first German bomber appeared in the sky. At first, only a few bombs fell. It felt almost like a small attack, but soon hundreds of aircraft filled the sky, and the real assault began. Bombs dropped in waves, one after the other, with no break in between. Explosions shook the ground. Fire spread so fast that the city turned into a ring of flame. The night sky, usually dark and calm, became a storm of orange and red. Buildings collapsed, houses burned, roads cracked open. The sound was terrifying. The loud roar of planes flying low, the thunder of falling bombs, glass breaking, and the cries of people running for safety. In just a few hours, Coventry was turned into something unrecognizable, a city fighting for its life. And in the middle of that firestorm stood Coventry Cathedral, one of the most beautiful churches in England. The old St. Michael Cathedral had been standing for centuries. Its tall spire reached into the sky. Its stained glass window filled the church with colorful light, and its walls were full of history. But that night, almost everything was destroyed. The roof fell in, the walls cracked open, flames consumed the wooden pew and the artwork that had survived for generations. Even the stone pillars, which was once seen strong and permanent, could not withstand the heat. Today, the ruins remain exactly as they were after the bombing. No roof, no window, only broken wall open to the sky. When you stand inside, you feel a strange mix of sadness and strength. Every stone, every burned beam seems to hold the memory of that terrible night. It is a place where the silence carries voices of the thousands who suffered and the hundreds who died. More than 400 people were killed, over 1,000 injured, and tens of thousands lost their home. Entire neighborhoods were wiped out. Streets that once held small shops and family homes became a piles of rubble. Schools, hospitals, and churches were destroyed. Families were separated, and many never reunited. Coventry world changed in just a few hours. But what happened in Coventry was not an accident. It was a part of a larger campaign called the Blitz, during which the Germans attacked many British cities. Their goal was simple: break the country's spirit. But in Coventry, something unexpected happened. Instead of giving up, the people became stronger. Even though the city was broken physically, the community refused to surrender emotionally. Coventry became a symbol of courage and determination, proof that even the deepest wound cannot destroy human spirit. When you walk through the ruins today, the atmosphere is powerful. You can almost imagine the smoke, the flame, the panic, and the courage of that night. The city made the decision to keep the cathedral ruins as they were, as a permanent reminder of what happened. They did not rebuild over it or hid it. Instead, they built a new cathedral right next to the ruins. The new building stands as a symbol of hope, peace, and forgiveness. The contrast is striking. On one side, the ruins, dark, broken, silent. On the other, the modern cathedral, bright, open, and full of light. Side by side, they show the journey from destruction to healing. They teach us that even after the worst moment, there can still be hope. I close my eyes for a moment and imagine the chaos of that night. The fire lighting up the city, the sound of bombs falling, the people running, hiding, and helping each other. I imagine the worshipper who once prayed inside the old cathedral, watching helplessly as their sacred place was destroyed. It must have felt like losing a part of their identity. And yet, people fought back. They rescued others. They protected what they could. They refused to let fear win. This story teaches us something important. War is not just about bombs, armies, and strategies. It is about people, family, lives, memory. The destruction of Coventry was meant to crush the heart of the city, but instead, the people found a new strength. Out of ashes, they rebuilt. Out of ruins, they created symbols of peace. They remembered the past but refused to be trapped in it. Walk out of the cathedral ruins and look at the modern city rising around it. I felt the weight of history, not as something old or distant, but as something alive. Coventry was destroyed in one night, yet it survived for generations. It carries scars, but it also carries hope. Visiting Coventry shows us the space between loss and recovery, between destruction and courage, between the darkest night and the promise of morning. It reminds us that some of the most powerful stories in history are not about winning battles but about surviving them. Coventry is not just a city, it is a lesson, a message, a reminder that even in the worst moments, human strength can shine through. And the ruins of Coventry Cathedral, those silent stones open to the sky, stands as a voice from the past, telling everyone who visits, do not forget, do not repeat, and always rebuild.